Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So, today, to celebrate opening weekend of Shazam in theaters, I figured I would talk about Shazam the comic. So, this is Rebirth Shazam #1. It was actually a really good comic. And when you look at the people who worked on it, that's not surprising. You have Geoff Johns writing, for instance. So what kind of blew me away is this Shazam comic is better than the current Superman comic. And I think that's for a few very specific reasons, which I'll get into as we go through the issue. But basically, it's just the difference is you have Geoff Johns writing and you have Bendis writing Superman. So I know Geoff Johns can't write every book, but it really makes a difference. So in any case, this cover, and this is a variant cover. This is a Gary Frank cover. So really liked it. This book was a gift, so I really appreciated it. I liked this cover better than the main cover. So this is pretty cool. The main cover is by Dale Eaglesham, who does, I don't know if it's Eaglesham or Eaglesham or however you want to say it, but he's a really great artist. I have some of his other books that he did the JSA series with Geoff Johns a while back now, but the art on that was really good too. So he did the main cover and then the interior art, which the art is really good throughout this. It's quite good. The dialogue, well, it's not really dialogue. The text is a little heavy on the first couple pages, but it's really just catching you up. So the amount of info, I mean, this is a #1, so just this text on the first couple pages basically gets you caught up on who Billy is, who he got his powers from, and all that. So really, it's a lot of text, but it's actually quite concise. This amount of information could have easily taken up the entire issue. So they get that out of the way and get to the fun right off the bat. So we have Geoff Johns is the writer, Dale Eaglesham is the penciler. Let's see, the colorist is Mike Attia. The letterer is Rob Lay. And I laugh because it's like, dude, this guy must work all day, every day, because it seems like he letters every DC comic. Uh, yeah, he did the main cover, and then I have the Gary Frank cover. Brad Anderson did the colors on that. He's one of my favorite colorists. There's a lot of good colorists out there, so editors and everything. So yeah, he's at the Rock of Eternity, and a lot of this seems really similar to what's going to happen in the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but that's the impression I get. So I won't go through 100% of the comic. I don't want to give everything away. I do think it's definitely worth buying. It is $4.99 though, but it is a thicker issue than the standard. It does have some ads, though, which I was a little surprised about. Like this, right off the bat, I was kind of like, really? I mean, ads are not ideal, and if there are ads, I prefer that they be like DC Comics or an ad for the DC TV shows or something like Munchkin. Like, come on. But there is a bonus story at the end. So I felt that offset the ads, and really they aren't too numerous. They are kind of stacked up at the beginning, but they aren't as numerous later on. So anyways, what happens here is the kids, and it's the Shazam family, the modern incarnation of it, but it's all the foster kids aside from, actually no, in this part it's just him and Freddy. But anyways, they're at the museum, and some baddies show up and try and rob it. Shazam turns into, Billy turns into Shazam. And this is some of the best part right here. These 2 pages. The art is crazy good. I mean, really good. Oh, and this part too I thought looked really cool, where he's got the bullet in his teeth. Like, wow, that's cool. So, it looks bad though, because they've got him, they're holding him hostage. But then, the rest of the Shazam kids show up. So everybody in this, all the Shazam kids have powers, all these foster kids. So Shazam shared his powers with them. So I think that was the case before when Geoff Johns wrote Shazam in the New 52. I didn't read it back then. I need to go back and do so. But in any case, it's really good. All of their dialogue is really good and funny and unique. Like each character has their own real personality and everything. Even like, I think her name's Dula. I just read this and I already forgot, but I think her name's Dula or Duella. But yeah, here we go. Like her kind of the way she's talking. Sometimes this would be kind of obnoxious, but the way it's done is really funny because it's just her personality. They don't all talk like that. It's just the way she talks, and it isn't obnoxious. It's funny because she's the only one doing it, and it's her character, right? So while they're all taking down the bad guys and the villains in their own different way, like they're playing baseball with this guy, and but anyway, she says, I'm not supposed to say too much because they always say I say too much, but I hope when you go to jail you think about not being bad anymore. So I don't know. I thought that was actually kind of funny, but you know, if it was a whole book of everyone talking like that, it would be silly. But they all have their own personalities and stuff. And I thought it was really cool that Mary Marvel was there. Freddy gets his powers too. So everybody's cool. And we're talking about ads. This is the one ad I always let have a pass, though, because it's my favorite. I don't know who drew it, but I think someone told me, actually, who drew it one time in the comments. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've had this ad in a review. It's really good, though. You got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. They take down this baddie here, this big monster. But then they give it a Snickers, and it's this little sweet little thing. You know what it reminds me of? It looks like the baby in Men in Black. Remember when Will Smith delivers that little alien baby in the back of a car? That's what it looks like. At least, like, the top half. Its face really looks like that. So anyways, it's a pretty good little advertisement. I don't mind seeing this one. Young Justice ad, but, you know, I let that go because it's DC. But anyways, yeah, so they leave. Oh, and this part's really funny, too. They talk to the cops, and they're trying to get, like, their information, and they're just being all, you know, funny kids, and they haven't even picked out their names or anything yet. This is the first issue. So the cops are just like, I'm starving. Let's just say Superman did it. Fair enough. So that's some of that good Geoff Johns humor. But I don't want to give away everything. Like, I do think this is worth buying. It's $4.99. It's got some ads, but it's a really good story. The art's super good. This book isn't getting delayed like a lot of DC books are. I know at least issue 3 is out at this point. Let's see. Okay, so I skipped a bunch of pages. I would recommend buying this. You know, I think it's a good book. So anyways, the cool thing is, too, once the kids have dinner with their family, and it's really a wholesome, good setting. Oh, shoot, I do actually have to show some of that. But anyways, one thing, when I was talking about at the beginning, I was saying how, I could just explain it, how Bendis doesn't understand, well, he doesn't understand family, essentially. That's what it seems like. I don't want to put that judgment on him, but the way he writes, he's really broken up the Superman family. He's got his Superman son, John, trying to kill him. He's got Lois. Well, I think she's back now, but he took her away for a while, and it's just like this whole thing. Whereas in this book, there's a very specific line towards the beginning, and it says the power of Shazam is family. And like Billy, he had all that power. He had all the power of Shazam, and he shared it with these others because they're his family. They're his foster family, but they're, you know, they're all he has. Like, they are family, and it's really endearing. There's a lot of really cool scenes, like, and they all have their own personalities and stuff. Like, it's really well written. Like, when they have dinner, all the kids are like, yeah, and I don't know. It's just really wholesome, and like, there's a real lack of just like good, wholesome entertainment in this day and age. Everything has to be edgy and dark and like, you know, just depressing and really not suitable for children in a lot of ways. And like, this kind of thing has its ups and downs, but it always has that light behind it. For instance, at the very end, the foster parents open the door, and this man's there, and he says, I've come to see Billy. I'm his father. So, there you go. You got something to look forward to I did not expect. So, apparently Billy has a dad. Well, of course he has a dad, but I mean, his dad is here. He looks just like him, so we're going to have to see what the deal is Oh, okay. I don't want to give it away, but you know what I bet this is? I bet this is actually Billy, and he's changed into Shazam. And he came and introduced himself as his father, so now he has a reason to be around, the parents if they see him, and why is this man in our house? Uh, he can explain it, which is something I'd actually been wondering how they were going to do. So I bet that's the gimmick. I bet that's what's going on. Now there is this bonus story at the end. It's really good, but it's also kind of sad. It's written by Geoff Johns, and the artist Mayo Seniato, and again Rob Leigh. See, he letters everything. This guy's a workhorse. But it's really sad. It's about Mary Marvel and how she had a dysfunctional childhood and why she had to become a foster child. So like you just hear her parents yelling and stuff, and they say a lot of bad stuff. And she leaves and goes down the fire escape, and they're still yelling at her, and she looks up, and then they keep yelling, and she's just like, nope. And that artist there, I mean, he has an anime style, but it's very expressive, which isn't to say anime isn't, but he does a really good job. So, like, you really feel for Mary. And then she runs. And yeah, she's looking around at the shops and sees, like, some cookies, and she's going to buy them with her money. She only has a little change. And then sees the bell ringing, and it's the Salvation Army guy. So she goes and talks to Santa Claus. And he's like, hello there, aren't you a little young to be out here alone? She's like, I don't think so. And they talk a bit, and she ends up putting her little bit of change that she has in the bucket. She says, goodbye, Santa. And you're just like, oh, this is so sad, And then she goes, and she's sleeping. And she's sleeping in front of the toy store, like on the stoop, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is so tragic. But the Santa tells the police, and they end up bringing her to these parents, Mr. and Mrs. Vasquez, and they're really nice, of course. So they're the first two that arrive at the home. Freddie's already there. So there is a little bit more throughout. Basically, the funniest part is they end up. You could say they liberated or they freed this rabbit because the pet store it was at, these guys were selling their pets to Dr. Savannah, so who knows what he was doing with them. So they rescued the bunny, and at the very end, when they used their powers and turn into Shazam, the art's really cute, this anime style actually fits with the younger audience. But anyways, the bunny actually ends up getting powers too. So the very first issue introduces Hoppy the bunny, which has been a Shazam, or Captain Marvel character for a very long time, going back at least I think to the Golden Age. So that's Shazam #1. I thought it was really good. It's a really good wholesome comic. I did skip most of the middle. There's some really good adventure where they're exploring the Rock of Eternity, which was actually some of my favorite stuff in this book. It's definitely one of the best books DC is putting out right now, and it's good for any age. I enjoyed it as an adult, but really, it's meant for children. At its core, it's really good for children too. The really reason Billy is chosen is because he's a good person, because he protected and helped his friend who was being picked on when he was handicapped, and even with all that power, it doesn't change him. It doesn't corrupt him. He doesn't become bad. So much so that he shares his power with his family. So it's a really good message. I wish Superman could get back on track and have some good messages like that too. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'm hoping to go and see Shazam on Tuesday. So 2 days from now, I should hopefully have a video about Shazam. Or maybe I'll just do a live stream and talk about it. I haven't done one of those in a really long time. So that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.